Then we saw something amazing. Allison Schaefer seems to be in charge at this facility, and she seems like a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. When she came to me and these others to observe her do this process, it's my personal opinion she wanted us to watch her because she was uncomfortable with what was about to transpire. This is right out of one of our nightly reports for Cobb County at the Jim R. Miller Park and Event Center, Tuesday, January 5th, 8:30 p.m. Allison Schaefer, a Cobb County election employee, informed Vincent Bordini, Debbie Fisher, Drew Sexton, and 2 Democrat observers that a file name didn't look right on a USB thumb drive and asked if we wanted to see her get new results. The above-mentioned group met at Scanner 4 in Hall C of the Jim R. Miller Park and Event Center and were met by an IT worker wearing a gas mask and a phone holster who I assume was a Dominion employee. Side note, we called this dude Gas Mask Man because he never properly identified himself. The USB drive in question was already inserted into the scanner, its computer. Allison Schaefer took control of the scanner's mouse and followed Gas Mask Man's instructions. Gas Mask Man said, right-click USB, Forms, Start, Quick Format. Gas Mask Man then said this process clears everything off. An interrupted action error showed up on the next transfer attempt. Interrupted action errors are common when an item being copied can no longer be seen by the operating system. Upon seeing the interrupted action error, Allison Schaefer remarked to Gas Mask Man that this is not the one with the issues. Allison then said the same message was coming up over at, and Allison trails off, aware that we are listening. Gas Mask Man quickly responded, possibly. The dude was cutting her off. At Gas Mask Man's instruction, Allison then manually attempted to move a TIFF file. A TIFF file is an image file that contains no data. There is no explanation provided as to why this was attempted. Once Allison succeeded in getting the 29,938 items to transfer, Vincent Bordini asked Allison if these 29,938 items were ballots. Allison answered yes. It is Vincent Bordini's understanding that the data side of the ballots consist of a TIFF and a data part combined together that can be read by Dominion's proprietary software. Vincent Bordini asked Gas Mask Man about the interrupted action error from a few moments ago. Gas Mask Man denied seeing it and became obtuse, stating, I don't understand what you were asking. No explanation was provided for the error. 29,938 new items were copied onto the USB drive. Vincent Bordini asked Allison if these 29,938 items were ballots. Allison answered yes. We're talking about 30,000 ballots that were just destroyed and replaced right before my eyes. Our eyes. There are observers with me. How does anyone on this planet know that those votes were replaced with the identical votes? A bunch of people just watched 30,000 ballots get destroyed and 30,000 ballots get replaced. Our leadership, the Secretary of State of Georgia, our national leadership, they're all okay with this process. It's not secure at all. The entire 2020 election was like this. There's no diligent review of this data. They're just blowing through the files, passing them around. They're doing their job. They have no idea what the hell data they're moving. And that's in regard to people who are 100% honest about this process. It gets better. On January 6th, at approximately 6:30 to 7 p.m., Allison Schaefer informed Vincent Bordini, Chris Sheave, and 2 Democrat observers that the scanned ballot numbers were 100,663 that were sent to Whitlock. She then stated the 20,000 plus ballots off of Scanner 4's thumb drive did not go to Whitlock. There was no explanation given as to why they held them for another day and night. Whitlock was the headquarters for the Cobb County Elections and Registration Office. It was on Whitlock Avenue. So I want to go back to the conversation where Allison had said to him, the same message was coming up over at, and Gas Mask Man cut her off, said possibly. She's referring to a similar error where they have to recopy ballots, destroy and recopy ballots. We believe this incident happened in DeKalb County, and we believe this because we met a reporter who recorded the audio of it. Unbelievably, this error is happening in the same night in another place with thousands of ballots. I want you to listen for a few things in this recording we're going to play. They're going to talk about memory cards, and they mean thumb drives. So when you hear memory card, just think about a thumb drive. She's going to talk about new results, getting accurate results. This is their language. When the elections employee is asked by the reporter, do the memory cards glitch frequently? The lady says it's not a common issue. Let's just say it like that. The audio is a little rough because the reporter has to conceal her recording device because, you know, people don't want any of this getting out.
Hey, ma'am, did you have an update?
They are finishing up the last location. They're on that last box of that last location, about halfway through that box. So So I would say another maybe 30 minutes at the most.
What happened to the memory card?
It just wouldn't read into the system. Nothing.
And it held it up. How long did it hold up the vote
We were still counting.
calculation? So like an hour you had to stop because of the memory card
We didn't
glitch?
have to stop anything. Nothing stopped it.
Okay.
Going to system. It wouldn't read. So in order to get results and give accurate results, we wanted to scan everything again.
So is the memory card glitched frequently or once in a while?
It's not a common issue, just to say it like that.
We never got a number from DeKalb County about how many thousands of votes were blown away and replaced. Between the incident we covered, this incident that was recorded, and possibly that alleged missing drop box, that ballot box, they had 17, but they only recovered 16. We're way into thousands, tens of thousands of ballots, maybe 50,000 ballots, who knows? And that's the point. They don't know. They couldn't answer you if you put them on trial tomorrow. So along with some observers, I witnessed one of these errors where they blew away and replaced ballots. We have audio recording of another one. We assume that the conversation between Allison and the gas mask man was about that DeKalb error. If it wasn't, that means there's a third one of these errors happening at this time. How many of these errors really happened? So you can see here the chain of custody is broken. We don't know the chain of custody on all of those ballots. We just looked at evidence of thousands and thousands of ballots being copied, destroyed, re-uploaded. The chain of custody on digital ballots like that is nowhere. We don't know that they were replaced by identical ballots. We have no idea how to trust this, and trust is important. 2 years after these events, the National Association of the Secretaries of State got together, and this was their brochure. What do you see on the cover of this? A lady holding a paper ballot, putting it in a physical ballot box, stacked with physical paper ballots, because that is an image that voters trust. They don't trust a machine. You are never going to see one of these brochures with a woman just standing, poking her finger at a pad, but that's how they want you to vote. Believe it or not, this is one of the pages in the brochure about trust. It's about how the chain of custody is important to a secure and transparent election. What is transparent about the chain of custody of these 29,000 ballots? And this was only an instance where an observer was allowed to see it. How many of these went off without observers? That doesn't build trust. It's not transparent, and you have no idea about the chain of custody. Here's an image from the EAC, and on their brochure, they like paper ballots, and they like ballot boxes. They don't seem to want to build trust just showing a computer going into a safe, because, well, that's a pretty cold look. And in light of all of these things, it is amazing that the Georgia Secretary of State does not want to update their voting machines for the 2024 election. They still resist the security update.